Hello and welcome to another episode of Toxic Love Transformation. I'm your host, Stephanie McPhail. And today we want to talk about backsliding when it comes to toxic relationships. So I want to start by just kind of really calling out who I'm really talking to when I'm saying backsliding in toxic relationships. You're a successful woman, right? You've been successful in your career. You've been successful in other areas of your life, but when you go home and you're by yourself, you're thinking about this shame, this embarrassment that why is it, what is wrong with me that I can create great things in my career and go after my dreams in other ways. But when it comes to romantic relationships and maybe other relationships as well, I just keep ending up with the same types of toxic people. Maybe you have been in a long-term relationship. You know it should be done. You know it should be over, but you keep going back anyway. And you're like, I'm smarter than this. I know what I should be doing. I'm just not doing it. Or you've just been relationship hopping where you've gone from one relationship to the other one, whether it's one right after the other, or you've taken time in between, but you find yourself stuck in this loop where you keep saying you're going to do differently, but you find yourself again and again with these people that are nowhere nearly as successful as you are. They're not really what you're looking for. And maybe you try harder than you should to try to make the relationship work because you don't feel like you're successful. You feel like there is something wrong with you. Maybe there's a fear, whatever it is that's going on, that you keep trying to make this relationship work. And I see this with professional women. We are really good at going after our goals and doing everything we can to make it work, which is probably one of the reasons why we were so good at our careers or been so good at our careers, because we've been so focused. But when it comes to relationships, we can't be those kinds of pit bulls. We have to get really good at knowing when to let go. We need to know what we have to do in order to stop this endless cycle that we've been on. And I'll tell you right now, that part of you that feels like you're not good enough and there's something wrong with you, it's not you. It's not you. I'm giving right now, I want you to feel relieved that it's not you, it's your mindset. It's your thought process. It's that you haven't had the tools to create something different. You went to college, you went to school to learn your career, to do the things, you had training in your career. But when it came to relationships, you didn't get the right tools. So the mindset is where we have to make the tweaks. And it doesn't have to be tons of tweaks. It doesn't have to be tons of fixes. It just has to be very specific things in order for us to heal. So I want you to feel, hopefully there's a little bit of relief in knowing this doesn't have to be years and years. You've been reading the books, you've been watching the videos, you've been going to the support groups, you've been doing all those other things to try to figure it out on your own. But that's what's kept you stuck in that loop and kept blaming yourself and feeling all that embarrassment and shame and all of that because of your inability to create what you say you are looking for. And, one of those things is that when we've been in a toxic relationship, there is this feeling of what we want, but then there's also this lack of feeling of worthiness. Like, I want to be happy. So, again, a lot of people come to me and they're like, hey, but Stephanie, I know what I need to do. I'm just not doing it. I get it. That's why I hear from everybody that comes to me. We're smart people. Again, it has nothing to do with our intelligence. It has to do with what our learning has been. So if we know better, but we don't do better, then what's the disconnect? For most of us, it's because we don't feel worthy of those beautiful, wonderful things that we say that we want. Maybe we feel like we're asking for too much. Like, hey, if I have the relationship too, then I'm going to have everything I want. That I have the house, I have the car, I have the great job, and I have a great relationship. Do I really deserve that? And that might not be in our conscious mind, but it's in our subconscious mind. So it sabotages us when we're feeling like it's not actually possible for us to get all the great things in our life, or that we're too broken, we're too messed up, it's not possible for us, all the good ones are taken, all of those things that we've told ourselves. If we believe those things, then we will sabotage our ability to actually create them because we don't feel we are worthy of those great, wonderful things. So then we do things that sabotages us. So it's important to know all of those things before we even get started jumping into anything else, because you can tell yourself over and over again, I'm done. But if you are keeping their phone number available, if you're able to access their email, if they're driving by, you're driving by their house, you're letting them come over unannounced, any of those things are going on and you're allowing it to happen, there is still this feeling of like, I deserve this unhealthy type of relationship instead of I deserve this happy. I am worthy of this. So I want you to take a second right now and I want you to actually say out loud, I am a worthy woman. So give yourself a second. I don't care where you are. Look weird when you're driving or you're at work or wherever you are. And I want you to actually say out loud, I am a worthy woman. And start to like repeat that to yourself. Remind yourself of that. No matter what you've experienced, no matter what you've done in the past, you are worthy of great, wonderful, amazing things. It's not you. It's been your mindset. It's been your thinking process on whether or not you can actually create it, whether or not you are deserving it. And when we've been in these toxic relationships, it messes with our worthiness because we've been told from other people for so long that we're too much, we're too opinionated, we're too fill in the blank. And none of those things are real. Those are all things that the boys tell us, you know? It's not the men, the real men, those men that you want to have in your life, those people that you would want to have a relationship with. Those are the men that want a strong woman. Those are the women those are the types of men that want women that go after their dreams, that feel good about themselves, that are there to support, inspire, motivate, and be there for you. Those men do exist, but we have to feel that worthiness in order to attract those types of people into our lives. But we got to get rid of all this other junk first, because think about like a hoarder. A hoarder's taking up all this negative stuff, whether it's negative emotions, negative things, negative people, you know, all that hoarder does is it takes up all these negative things and just holds on to all these negative things. There's no room to put the cute furniture. There's no room to put the new outfit when you're hoarding all this stuff that is not helpful for you. So if you want to start creating a life that you're excited about, you got to get rid of all the stuff that's keeping you from creating that life. And so that's really about getting those tools, getting the right things that you need to start creating that life that you're excited to wake up to every day. So who's with me? Who wants to come in and say, you know what? I'm done. I am done telling myself that I am not worthy. I'm done telling myself that it's not possible for me. And I am ready to kick ass because I was not put here to sit here and worry about everybody else all the time, because that hasn't worked. Now is my opportunity. Now is my chance to focus on me. It's not selfish to think of ourselves, but I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to do the healing that I need to do so that I can start attracting healthier people, because it's not just about the romantic relationship. I want you to imagine what it would feel like if you had people in your life that were there to inspire and motivate you throughout your life. The people that you could say and be the real you around. The ones that are excited for you to have the successes and do the things, and they want to be right there along with you because they also want to do the great things and figure out their purpose and what they were put here to do. And when you surround yourself with people like that, our ability to achieve greatness is just that much more increased, because we have other people that are also trying to lift each other up, as opposed to maybe where you are now, where there's maybe a romantic partner that is putting you down, making you feel bad, pulling away from your power. Or maybe friends and family members that are like, oh no, maybe you should keep playing small. Maybe you should deal with this toxic person because you've been married a long time, or it's been hard for you to date, or whatever it is, these negative people that haven't created those great things that you want to create. Let's not listen to those people, because those people aren't doing it. We want to be around people that are also working on themselves, that are also working towards improving themselves, their future, next generations, maybe other women at large, maybe creating a whole generation of other women that are empowered and feel strong and have their souls truly ignited with a passion to create the life that they're excited about. And again, we can't get to that next place until we heal the baggage that we've been carrying around. And again, that has to do with our mindset, which is cool because we actually use something that will actually help you at lightning speed clear out that mindset. So let's dive in. If you are in my Facebook group, I actually sent a link to all of you to Reinvent Yourself After Divorce. It's a little freebie. If you did not get this, please make sure you send me a private message and I can send you the link so that you can download it for you to have on your own. This is a freebie. Definitely grab it because it's going to be very helpful. I'm going to kind of just do a quick overview of it, but this is the beginning of your next chapter. Starting here, this is where I start with all of my clients. So I want to give this to you because I want to help ignite your fire. I want to help you get excited about creating that life that you're excited to wake up to. And so this Reinvent Your Life After Divorce, this is the beginning steps to my 6 steps to heal after that toxic relationship. So you've got to start being able to reinvent yourself. And these are the beginning steps. So the first question that all of us need to ask ourselves, no matter where we are in the process, no matter what's going on right now, is how did I get here? How did I get to this place where I am taking care of everybody else, where I'm putting myself on the back burner, where I'm in a relationship where someone doesn't respect me, where they don't inspire me, where they don't motivate me? How did I get here? And, it's important to really look at it and to understand that, because if we don't know how we got here, then the chances are pretty good we're going to go back. So we have to figure out that initial thing. Maybe it was your experience in childhood. Maybe you had an alcoholic parent. Maybe you had an absentee parent. Maybe a parent passed away. Maybe they weren't there for you. Maybe they were great parents. They just didn't give you the tools. Maybe they didn't do the work themselves. But you're deciding, I'm going to make things different for my future generations and people that I'm around, and I'm going to take that power back. So I want to know, and this is non-judgmental, what did I do to get to this point? What happened in my life that got me to this point? And this would be a good time to really, to kind of think about, I want you to kind of visualize, once we get to the point of healing, once we figure out how did I get here? Like, oh my gosh, how did I get to this place? Because sometimes you have to kind of take a break, because a lot of us are like that pot that frog in the boiling pot, right? Where we're like, how the heck? None of us got to this boiling spot overnight. We're slowly turning up the heat over time. And then we're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how I got here. Like, I was this carefree teenager, and now all of a sudden I'm a middle-aged person and the kids are leaving, or, the career is winding up, or whatever it is that's going on. And I don't even know how I got to this place. How did things happen like this for me? So I want you to visualize how your life will be once you start actually doing this work. Once you make yourself that priority. Can you visualize it? Can you see what it might look like? Is there excitement or possibility there for you? So that would be a good opportunity for you to have that affirmation of, I'm a worthy woman. And I definitely recommend starting with that. So shame has been a big part of how you got here. And again, this is in your workbook if you're following along. And I definitely would go through this on your own, but I just wanted you to have the visual of it as we go through it. But shame is something that follows us throughout. If we see ourselves as a professional, successful person, and then we go home and things are not exactly what it seems, we are not really living the full life that we want to be living. We're not as happy as we would like to be. There's a lot of shame and there's a lot of guilt in there. The problem with the shame and the guilt is that because we have that shame and the guilt, we don't actually do the right work. We don't get the right help. We don't think it's possible for us to change. So therefore we don't. We spend time watching videos. We spend time talking about it. We spend time avoiding, but we don't actually deal with the problem. Shame is going to keep us stuck. Once we realize, oh my gosh, I am feeling shame. You're right. I am feeling embarrassed that I keep choosing these crappy partners, or that my partner has not been who I wanted them or was hoping they would be after all of this time. After everything I've tried, after everything I've done, I haven't been able to change them, make them to the potential that I had for them. I haven't been able to see the person that I started dating 20 years ago or whenever the beginning of the relationship was. They haven't come back. Instead of living in that shame, realize where you are now and say, okay, I realize that I've been stuck here. What can I do differently in order to create something different from ourselves? So looking at that shame and looking at that guilt is going to help you. So give yourself, I'm going to only give you about 20 seconds or so because this is live. You can always pause it and you can always do this on your own. But I want you to answer this question, which is on the next page, is I want you to give yourself, again, for here, 20, 30 seconds. You can come back and give yourself more time. But how has shame affected your relationships? So give yourself that 20 seconds or so, 30 seconds, whatever comes to your mind right away. How has shame affected your relationships? And I'll give you 20 seconds to write whatever comes to your mind. All right. And again, if you're watching this as a replay, you can always come back, pause it, and give yourself a little bit more time. But for those of you who are listening and watching live, just give yourself another opportunity to come back to this so that you can give yourself a little bit more time to answer it. The next journal experience or activity is, how might your past experiences have caused you to get stuck in repeating old patterns in new relationships? So what we talked about, if we don't figure out what happens, then we're going to do it again. So how might your past experiences have caused you to get stuck in repeating old patterns in new relationships? And again, if you didn't get this ahead of time, you can just answer the questions and you can always send me a message and I will give you the link for this workbook so that you can have it. All right. So the next thing I want to get to, and take your time to go do those. Those are two really great journal activities to do, is to really give yourself the opportunity to feel and think and understand yourself as to how that I get here. Again, we want to have the tools. We want to start making these tweaks so that we can start creating that new life for ourselves. Part of it is taking a step back and looking at how we got here. The next one, number 2, and this is something that I have to say I spend most of my time with clients, is that when we are successful and we've been stuck in a toxic relationship, we have put a lot of time and energy into trying to figure out how to fix it. What do I have to do to change? What can I do to make them understand? Maybe if I shift this about myself, maybe I say this differently. Maybe if I have different expectations, what can I do to fix and change this relationship? And when we do that, we literally lose ourselves. And some of us didn't really know who we were to start the relationship. I mean, let's be honest. If we started our relationships really young, we probably never fully developed our personality and got really connected to self to know who that person was, so that when we found a partner, we didn't find someone that was actually a good fit for us. We found someone that maybe the sex was great, or maybe we had fun partying with, or maybe we had fun in the expectations we had of what they could be. It's really important to take that time to say, hey, wait, who am I and what do I want for myself? And that's really the next step, is to figure out who you are. And we can do that. We can start doing that by building that support team. And I know that sounds like, wait, how am I going to figure out who I am by building my support team? Well, I want you to start thinking about, what are the things that you enjoy doing? What are the things that you've put to the side because you've been so focused on everybody else but yourself? What are the things that you haven't done because you have not been your own priority? And when you're not a priority to yourself, other people are not going to make you a priority either. You have to make yourself a priority. You are the one that lives with yourself forever. You have to be the priority. And when you're creating that support team, you need to have people that support that best version of you, because this is the new you. This is the new you that you are creating. And creating is exciting. But it's also a little bit scary and uncomfortable, because when you're creating new you, sometimes those people that have not been so supportive, those people fall off. And we find a lot of times as we start doing this work, is the people that are not there to support the best versions of ourselves will try to sabotage us. They'll try to bring us back. There's the story of the crabs in a bucket, and they're all about to be boiled. And one crab tries to get out and crawl out of the bucket, and the other crabs are like, nope. And they grab them and pull them back in. When you're around people that are not healing and working on themselves, that don't have higher hopes for themselves, higher expectations for themselves, when you start making changes and trying to do something different for yourselves, they're like, nope, let me pull you back in. So we have to start creating the support system around us that instead of pulling us back in, is going to be like, yeah, agree, totally. What do you need? How can I help you? Who are those people going to be for you? So the next thing that you have in here is to look at creating that network, and if you've ever done networking for your business or anything like that, we know that your network is your net worth, right? That's what we talk about all the time, is that being able to go out, you meet new people, you talk to people, and you're kind of seeing how you can help each other in your business. It's kind of the same thing with your personal development, with your healing from these toxic, types of people in your life. You have to have a support system of people that are team you, whoever that is. So what I'd like you to do is start really crafting your support team. Who is going to be the people that you're like, I need these people to get started? And then who are the people that are going to help you as you start moving in your momentum? So if you're like, your support system might start off with like a therapist, with a coach, with a nutritionist, with a physical therapist, with someone an exercise and physiologist. What are the types of people that like to just kind of start with the basics? If you haven't been taking care of yourself, we've got to start with getting everything back into alignment. And one of the things that we always tell our clients is we want to help you heal from that holistic perspective. So we want to make sure that you're looking at your physical health, your social health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health. Spiritual health doesn't necessarily have to be religious. I like to say universe instead of God. To me, it's connection to something greater and bigger than self. So whatever that spiritual self is for you, reconnecting to that. But all of that needs to get back into alignment. So creating your support system, creating your support team is about getting people from those different areas of your life, those 4 different areas, and getting them back into balance. Because when you've been in toxicity, your focus has all been on that emotional health and using that all up on that toxic person. So you're overwhelmed and exhausted, and you've been holding up all of this like a lead weight while you're trying to swim and not drown at the same time. What if you had other people that were there to be like, dude, I got this. You don't have to do this on your own. It's okay that you don't know what to do. I will help you. Having someone that's like, hey, make sure you're drinking your green smoothie, make sure you're getting your water, do another rep on your exercise. Having those people that are there to help you and guide you and make sure that they're helping you at the beginning stages, at the very least, to give you the momentum of that new life that you are creating. So you want to have a counterpart, maybe somebody else like you who's also looking to heal. You want to have a cheerleader, someone who's excited for you to heal and help you push through the uncomfortable stuff. And then, of course, the professionals, and the professionals might be all of those things while you're starting this new team of people, while you're creating this new support system. And that also means, we are not meant to try and figure everything out on our own. Having community of people that are also going through it is so important. And again, it inspires and motivates us so much more. So in the workbook or in the free download, it actually has you look at in different areas of your life to fall into those 4 different categories. So look at what your support system is like today. Like people that you have in your family that are, think of it like your positive support system right now. Is there anybody in your family? Is there anybody in your friendship groups? Do you have the cheerleader? Do you have professionals? Who do you have right now to help you stay accountable, to make sure you're following through on the other parts of your life? And then after that, and this can all be done after, you listen, or again, if you're listening as a replay, you can always pause. But think of the people that you'd like to have in the future. Who are the people that you'd like to have on your team? Because maybe after you start doing the healing, maybe you're like, I think I also would really like to go back to school, or I'd like to start a business, or like I had a client of mine a few weeks ago, once she did the work and got past that toxic relationship, she was like, oh my gosh, now I want to start a nonprofit. I want to help other women who have been through this. Another client, they're like, I want to start an online clothing business for children. I want to start a blog. I had someone open up a campground Like all these really cool things that they wouldn't have thought to do. And then they needed help figuring out how to do those things. So then they had to have those people, adding those people to their team to help them figure out how to create these new wonderful things that they were doing. And again, having that community of other people that are excited and in the creation mode too are going to help you. And so if you try to go at it alone, you're going to find it way more difficult than if you make sure you create your community. There should be Team You. It's okay to have that. In fact, all of the most successful people in business, in their careers, in their lives, all of them have this expert support system. They all have the people that they go to that help them to heal and support them in whatever ideas they have, because none of us are experts in everything. We're not. And the sooner we can be like, hey, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. This is not my thing. You know, the sooner we can be like, hey, I'm successful in my career, but not in relationships. Okay, who's someone that can help me become successful in my relationships? All right, Stephanie, you got me? All right, let's figure this out. Hey, I'd like to lose 20 pounds. Hey, personal trainer, you seem like you know what you're doing. You got me. Let's do this. Find the people on your team that are going to help you be the best version of you, so you can go and it's much less of a mental bandwidth if you're just focusing on the things that you're good at and you're getting help on the things that you're not so good at. You're going to get to your destination much more quickly when you don't have those people, those crabs pulling you back in. But instead, you have all these other people that are there to help support, get you out of your thinking, keep you accountable, and stop you from repeating the same process over and over again. Because like I said in the beginning, there's small tweaks, but these tweaks have to be made in order to create those changes. So that was a lot. I know. I was excited. There's a lot of things I want you to cover. Again, if you have not downloaded this, make sure you send me a message if you haven't gotten it yet, and I will send it to you, because this is a great starting point. We need to have the tools in order to start creating something different, because if not, we get stuck in our head and we keep repeating those old patterns over and over again. And weirdly, we keep getting the same results. So make sure you grab that. If you are someone that is like, you know what, I am there, I want to get started, send me a message, let's chat, have a conversation. You can also send a text message, 631-317-4027. Send a text message, but those are only for the people who are like, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to ignite my soul. I'm ready to become that worthy woman. I don't want to figure it out on my own anymore. Send me a message. Let's chat. The rest of you, just grab the workbook, Reinvent Your Life After Divorce. Start there and make sure you're watching the videos. You're continuing to get this information. And when you're ready, we will be here. But I do this, David and I do this because we know that your past does not have to equal your future. You are deserving of great things. It's your mindset that has kept you from getting there. And if we can get you out of your negative thinking, that thing, that possibility, and make you see that, hey, there's that chance that I can create something better for myself and I am worthy of that. If we can help you get there, then you can start creating a life that you will be so excited to wake up to every day, whether you're single or in a relationship. Imagine the freedom that you have by being able to let go and say, I don't even care if I'm in a relationship anymore. I'm just going to be happy. I'm going to live a life where I am kicking ass and taking names. I am creating a business. I'm creating a life that I'm happy with, whatever it is. Maybe it's not creating a business. Maybe it's traveling the world. Maybe it's, volunteering at your local soup kitchen. It doesn't have to be grandiose. It can be something on a smaller scale. Whatever it is for you, know that you have gifts inside of you that you have not been able to use because you have been focusing on the wrong things, not out of your own fault, because you're a kind, wonderful, smart, intelligent person. And you've just not had the right tools to create something different for yourself. But that doesn't mean it's not possible for you to create it now. So on that note, I hope this was helpful for everybody. I would love to hear your takeaways. If there's anything that you want to share, go ahead and share those with me. I'd love to hear them. But, if everybody stepped into their full power, imagine the effects that would have on our children and children's children and those future generations and on you. and the people around you and the people you know and the people that love you, how would your life be different if you stopped playing small and stopped living for everybody else and started living a life where you had just this ignited feeling inside of you, of your belly, that you were waking up every day to something exciting, to an adventure that you were the main character of your story for. So on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Have a wonderful evening. Take care. And never forget, you are way stronger than you realize. See you next episode.